Life on Land can help us move towards that because this UN Sustainable Development Goal helps remind us that our actions cause consequences towards our environment. Improper waste disposal can pollute the environment by causing floods, killing animals, affecting the plants around us, and more. We can prevent these from happening by learning to dispose of our trash and waste properly. If we can learn to take care of our environment, like throwing our trash properly, planting more trees, and more, we can altogether achieve sustainable development as well as achieve our Life on Land goals. Based on Life on Land, we want to propose a project based on improper waste disposal, mostly focusing on the segregation of trash and recycling and reusing objects, like using old paper as packaging paper or using old bottles as pots for plants. We want to propose this community project because by doing these actions, we can lessen the amount of trash that we produce every day, thus effectively attaining sustainable development in the community because we can get and have our own needs without destroying our planet.
A sinful steward can respond to God's enduring love, mercy, and forgiveness amidst the intensive prevalence of temptations and sins in our present conditions and of the world by praying to us for protection and His love to resist us from doing any temptations or sins to fix the problems that the world is currently experiencing, like improper waste disposal. One example of actions that we can do to show our remorse is our project proposal, which focuses on the 3 R's: reusing, reducing, and recycling. By doing these actions, we can help support the environment and take care of it more, thus fulfilling our jobs as stewards of God's creations. We can do this to show remorse and so we can leave our sinful past.
Steps to our proactive solution. Step 1. Make sure that there is a bin for items that can be reduced, reused, and recycled. Properly label the bins. Step 2. Every week, gather the items. Segregate the items which can be reused, reduced, and recycled. Step 3. For items that can be reused, donate the items or sell it for extra profit. Make sure to find a place to donate these items. It can be an orphanage, a donation center, etc. Step 4. When you do have paper, make sure to recycle them after, like using the other side, using it as packing paper, etc. Turn plastic bottles into plant pots, piggy banks, toys, etc. Step 5. Try to use cartons or reusable bags instead of plastic. Use computers and reading materials instead of printing it to save on paper and ink. Reduce eating junk foods.
Number 1. Our chosen barangay is Maa. The 2020 population of our chosen barangay is 58,874. Our goal was to find out how many barangay residents are with an intensified waste management system in the areas of composting and segregation. The number of residents in each category were projected by taking the percentage of the number of students, turning it into a decimal number, and multiplying it by the number of residents in the barangay. Proportion is a part, share, or number considered in a comparative relation to a whole. In this case, the percentage of students was used as a proportion to the actual number of residents in barangay Maa. The concept of proportion was used in projecting the numbers of residents by using the percentage of student responses as a percentage of residents of barangay Maa with an intensified waste management system. We can use proportion in the projecting the number of residents in the barangay in each category, since a proportion is an equation in which two ratios are set equal to each other. Thus, the ratio that we get from the students' responses can be related to the residents of barangay Maa. Yes, we can relate existing data of the grade 7 students to profile the community practices. The limitation of using obtained equations in projecting the numbers of residents in terms of their practices is that these numbers are just a smaller number of the whole barangay. It's difficult to use data of grade 7 student profile, the whole community's practices, since the data is only a proportion of the whole community. Our specific plan of action to help control, if not solve the problems in the areas of segregation and composting, is to do the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle. Based on the article, eco-responsibility pertains to the 3 R's mantra of reuse, reduce, and recycle. Local communities, authorities, and states need to put more efforts towards the education of waste management. Essentially, the slogan can help reduce the levels of unsustainable waste that prove problematic in various environments across the globe. With the implementation and consistent practice of the 3 R's, communities and local authorities, as well as states, will not only be able to manage waste but also move in the direction of achieving zero waste. Also, it is important to bring more awareness about what is happening to our community and tell or advise them how to act upon it. Put up some more flyers in the community, with the contents being what is the situation in the community about segregation and composting, and how we can help the community, like for example, keeping 2 bins for different kinds of waste and using some kind of waste for composting, etc.
The identified responses can improve, sustain, and achieve one's Filipino personal health and wellness by making sure that people live in a clean environment where life on land is given more importance. The 3 R's: reduce, reuse, and recycle can greatly reduce waste disposal and can lessen pollution in the environment. Less pollution can be good for the health of the people, and it will also encourage people to eat healthy and exercise or jog around the village since it is safer, making sure that we are taking care of our physical health. It can also improve our social health by helping us interact with one another and become friends because we can talk about our similarities and how we can work together to help the environment. It can also help our emotional health by making the environment a calmer and cleaner place to be in, one where we can breathe easily and do our assignments, meditation, yoga, exercise, and more in peace. It can help our spiritual health by bringing us closer to God, as we have fulfilled that our duty to become stewards of creation. The sinful steward, we can respond to God's enduring love, mercy, and forgiveness amidst intensive prevalence of temptations and sins in our present conditions and of the world by making sure that we do our roles in taking care of environment and life on land. It can also help our mental health because we get to learn more about the earth, we can help it, the factors that are destroying it, and more. And it can improve our environmental situations and make our planet healthier for all of us to live in. The application of decision making and critical thinking skills can really help us in dealing with our problems in the environment and in the place we live.
Ang maaaring kahinatnan kung maisakatuparan ang aming mungkahing solusyon ay magiging maayos sa ating kapaligiran at maiimpluwensya ng mga kabataan na gawin ang tama na para lumaki sila na marunong mag-alaga ng kalikasan at gawin ang tama. Isa rin sa mga maidudulot nito ay magiging mas madali ang ating buhay dahil mas malinis na ang ating kapaligiran at mas makakatipid tayo sa ating mga gamit.